Chair. I just wanted to thank Commissioner Eggers for his comments. I agree with everything that he said. And, I've been out there and I've walked the property and the proposed density, the commercial use aspect of it, the traffic, the lighting concerns, it's just not consistent with the character of that neighborhood. It's just not. These homeowners bought in that community for a specific reason, because they wanted large pieces of land and estate-style homes, and this is encroachment onto that, and I can completely understand their perspective on that. So I will not be supporting this.
Commissioner Justice, do you have anything? Commissioner Latvala? Commissioner Peters?
Well, I do want to recognize that they did, in my opinion, make a lot of accommodations. And just for the residents, about some concerns, and this hasn't been a problem so much in Pinellas County, but it certainly has been a problem in Palm Beach County, where, sober homes go into neighborhoods and there's nothing local government can do it. And so just so you know, people can put up houses and make them into sober homes, and that's all ruled by the federal government, and there's nothing we can do. And we don't really have a problem here. That doesn't mean one day we won't. But Palm Beach County has been fighting that, and even in the legislature, there's nothing that we could do to protect those neighborhoods. So just, I just want to, I know a lot of you are saying some things, and there's some things that could happen in your neighborhood, and nobody has any control over, and they can happen. In this case, that's different. That's not what they're planning on doing. And so I don't know what compelled me to bring it up for you all, but something in the back of my neck said, you ought to at least know that those kind of things can happen. But I'm in agreement with Commissioner Eggers. That was my stance in January. I get that it's Park Boulevard. I do. But, and it might only be a third of a mile, but when you drive it, you really get the feeling that you're still in a residential neighborhood and you're not in the urban core, where you just don't have that feel in that area. Once you get to 113th, that's completely different. That's a completely different feel, completely different everything. But that from 113th to the beach, in my opinion, is much more residential. It's one of the few little swaths that we have in South County that has it. In my opinion, if this doesn't pass, I would like to see what we did in North County down on this piece of land to make sure that it stayed that way. That would be my wishes. Because, we have seen every other area that had any kind of land has been completely, the density has exponentially increased in South County. Nothing compared to what's happening in North County because we did protections for it. And so I really appreciate their efforts, because I really do think they made strong efforts to make this work in the neighborhood. But I really don't want to see this go so commercial.
Jewel? Again, for the sake of clarity, on this piece, which is 6, we're voting on land use only, correct?
That is correct. You would first vote on the land use case, and dependent upon the outcome of that vote, you would potentially move on to item number 7, which is the zoning case, together with the conditional overlay and the development agreement.
Got it.
But item 6 is strictly land use.
Everybody understand that? Commissioner Eggers?
I'm ready to make a motion.
Please go for it. If no one else has any more comments or questions. Okay. Commissioner Eggers.
Yeah, I'm motioning that we deny case number FLU 23-03 as being applied for today. It's a county land use plan.
Okay, it's been motioned by Commissioner Eggers, seconded by both Commissioner Peters and Commissioner Scott.
Madam Chair.
Yes, Commissioner Justice.
Thank you very much. And I appreciate the neighbors and the few that really are right near the property that would see a change versus those that are miles away that still feel that it would impact them. I get that, I understand that. But I want to thank the applicant because this is an incredible need in Pinellas County, an incredible need. And if it's not on this property, we have got to be proactive in finding properties that will work. It's just a need that we can't ignore. Thank you.
I certainly agree with your comments, Commissioner Justice. But that's for another day, obviously. And so we're ready to take our votes. Do you want a roll call vote, or all those in favor, please designate by saying aye? Aye. All those opposed?
No.
Okay, so Commissioner Latvala, Commissioner Flowers, Commissioner Justice, Commissioner Long all voted no. Commissioner Eggers, Commissioner Peters, Commissioner Scott voted yay. So the motion fails. So now we can skip number 7.
I would suggest you make an alternative motion.
Now we need a new motion. Who wants to make the new motion?
I'll make the motion, Madam Chair.
Okay,
I would like to vote in favor of staff's recommendation with the additional caveats and the proposed overlay for item number 6 as it relates to the community assisted and supported living.
And if I could clarify, Commissioner Flowers, and I
Y'all
apologize.
always get us
Just-
mixed up. That's a good thing. But
Just the land use at this point.
land use, please forgive
The
me. I'll take out
additional-
the overlay. Please back that out. I apologize. I'll be better after I get my salad, but back that out. Do you need me to restate the motion, Madam Clerk?
That would be helpful, please, Commissioner.
Okay, no problem. I would like to move approval of item number 6 with, regarding the land use for Community Assistant and Supported Living, Inc.
all right, it's been moved and approved that we move forward with the recommendation from, what? I know, I was
she was about
just
to
getting
do-
ready to say that.
She was about to say that.
Commissioner Eggers?
Yeah, please. Well, I can see how the motion is carrying. I would ask this commission, as we go forward, to remember that this county is for all people. So it includes people that have an acre per a house that's been there forever on an acre of land. It's part of a residential community. If you go north or east and west on Park Boulevard, north and south on Park Boulevard, a comment was made about the intersection being commercial nodes for the most part. And that's where they belong. I think we're making a huge mistake as we move forward in this regard, because you are taking away a character neighborhood that exists in Pinellas County. We have parks, we have environmental lands, we have 50 units per acre with affordable housing density bonuses. We have all of that, and yet this little piece of property is the beginning, in my opinion, of what I call just incremental creep. Because if you approve this, then there's nothing that says you can't approve the next one. And so I am extremely upset about it and think we're doing absolutely the wrong thing. Would ask for reconsideration. Thank you.
Madam Chair.
Commissioner Flowers?
Commissioner Eggers, I truly understand your concern, and trust me when I tell you that I fully understand and have seen how the creeps in my community, in South St. Petersburg up to the Pinellas Park area. So I'm very familiar with that, and having to make a decision based on what it is that our policy says for land use. And what can and cannot go in certain communities. And when we have a policy or an ordinance that allows certain uses to be granted, then perhaps later down the line, maybe not today, but maybe down the line, we just need to look then at potentially changing that policy. I fully agree. First of all, I want to thank the residents for showing up, because some of you guys probably missed work or whatever you needed to do. So thank you all so much for showing up. You were eloquent in your comments, passionate, and I do appreciate that. But I also understand that persons with disabilities, as noted here, for these individuals to be able to live here, they also are residents in our community. And we are just trying to, it's a delicate balance. We're just trying to make sure everybody can have a place to live here. And we don't have a whole lot of land. Commissioner Peters said it best, maybe we need to look at a couple of things going forward that would give some protections, I think was the word she used. But it's a use that is compatible with our current land use zoning. And I've looked at all of the backup, and I've heard all of the information that's been brought forward to us, to include some of the things that are being done to try to buffer those individual homes in that community. So it is a delicate balance, and I don't want you to think, Commissioner Eggers, that I don't understand your passion and your focus on just trying to make sure that we are making decisions with the best of intentions in mind. But I also see where what's being presented has been presented in a way, in my opinion, that is compatible with what we have as a policy now related to land use. So that's why I made the motion that I did.
Commissioner Latvala.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I will say that I was not in support of the applicant in January. I believe the concessions that they made were very reasonable. And Pinellas County is a county for all. That means it's a county that includes our developmentally disabled population, and they deserve to have a place to live as well. And I believe that this gives them that place. And I believe that this is a very reasonable accommodation that we're given to these residents, and I will leave it at that. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, there's a motion on the floor. All those in favor of the motion, please so designate by voting yea. All those against, please designate by voting no.
No.
I think the yeas have it.
Can I, just for a follow-up, Barry, could we workshop this to see if we can't do overlays like we did in North County, to ensure that no more creep comes into that one little swath of land that we have left in South County, so it doesn't become so urbanized in that little section?
We'll have staff come back and talk about it. It's a little bit different in the way the overlay works, I think, in North County in that area, but we can, because then you get into some other zoning issues, but Glenn, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
I mean,
and
this land abuts to Millennial Park.
Yeah.
There's flooding issues over there. Making this all concrete doesn't benefit that. So I would really like to workshop this and see if there's something we can do to make sure that no more, these people don't have to come back again for the next lot and the next lot and the next lot.
we'll bring them back for a discussion.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think, Barry, we've had countless conversations about affordable housing needs in this community. And this is one of them, but they're not mutually exclusive. It doesn't
Correct.
mean that we don't want to have all our folks protected and have an option to live in, but there's also areas in the county. I mean, the state opened up a whole bunch of areas to provide that kind of, the kind of housing that we're talking about. So I just think that we need to have a better understanding of that, because this clearly is a need that can go in a number of places. So anyway.